now. Okay, so because I'm such a tight bastard, we're doing this by 40 minutes installation by Zoom.
Yeah.
If you want to set up a patron for me, that's great, and then you can pay for it. But otherwise, I am doing this 40 minutes at a time. So we are quickly moving on to the O-line, because that might take just as long. We have got on the O-line this year, for your delight, we have Dan Moore, Kevin Dodson, Mason Cole at centre, James Daniels and Chucks. Behind those, you've got sort of Trent Scott, Kendrick Green, Jason Hassenhauer, and Jesse Davis.
When we signed him, I got a text from my best mate who's a Dolphins fan, and the text was broken down into two parts. The first one was Jesse Davis. Ha 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 ha. The second text was wah ha 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 for about 15 lines.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't understand that signing at all.
No.
Dig up my nan, put her on the O-line. She's going to have more skill than Jesse Davis because he's awful.
Well, he's behind Chuck, so you know that says something. Kendrick Green. Let me do this. So, have you all seen the original Evil Dead? Do you remember the scene where the camera picks up Bruce Campbell and like pushes him back through the forest really quickly? Like that's Kendrick Green.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I swear to God, I've never seen anybody as bad as him in 30 years of the NFL.
His footing is shocking. His first step is shocking. His hand placement is shocking. His first name's pretty bad as well, Kendrick.
His face is a massive pile of shit.
Fucking Green. Well, I mean, come on.
I am also apologising in case we have anybody in the group called Kendrick. I don't think we do. But...
and if we have, I'd chuck him out anyway.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's an initiation test if you call Kendrick. No, you can't.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's like if you get anybody called Artie or Burns, they're gone. They're not going to join. So yeah,
it's one of two starting players that I'm looking at and going, is there nobody else? Like, really? Why not even why have they got a starting position, but why are they on the team?
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone thought, let's just move him to guard. Move him to guard where we played for college. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. No, he's exactly the same.
Yeah,
he's
I mean, I don't know about you, but on the roster, I've got Dodson ahead of him anyway.
Exactly the same, but it's exactly the same, but 2 paces to the left.
Yeah.
Do you see Tomlin's press conference where they basically asked him, "Oh, so Kevin Dodson won the job there? Why was that?" I was like, "Well, it's better than Green." It was his answer.
It's a logical answer, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is a logical answer, but it's like
that's the same answer if you put Phil in. Well, you know.
I've got two words. I've got 2 words which is going to describe the entire O-line. Shit sandwich.
We'll go with that.
That's it.
Cool.
That's it.
Are we just using the whole of it up? The whole of the O-line room?
Well, Daniels hasn't done great. Cole hasn't done great. Dan Moore really worries me because and I know O-line. I know you've got a gel and everything else. I get it.
Yeah.
And they might do, and we're all being freaking, jumping off the boat too early, blah blah blah. But Dan Moore's just been just as awful as well, and I expected him to be a proper anchor.
Dotson's keeps getting injuries, and
James Daniels, right? Can we just can't seem to get it right when it comes to O-line. So it's
James Daniels,
a set that we just need to really struggle with as the Steelers. It's just like it's been like this for the last probably.
I mean, you've got Eric Fisher doing nothing at home, and you think.
But there's a reason though, Jason, that no one signed him up. Surely, I know. The thing is, like, Pat Meyer's the 4th coach we've had since Munch. So there's if you've got no consistency in terms of like your coaching, in that section. How do you think that the line's going to do in that situation? But the thing is with Dan Moore, his last season we were singing his praises.
Mm-hmm.
We were singing, it was like, this could be the future. This is, he's a bit rough and ready, but he's got the moves.
Well, look how he played against Garrett. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, I think it's this scheme, this new scheme that Pat Myers done more than anything, because from what I've read about it, there's a lot to it. There's a lot more aggressive, double, using independent hands, this, that, and the other. So it's something that he's obviously not got used to yet at all.
And are they aggressive enough as individuals as well? I mean, Dodson isn't exactly.
That's a good question.
That's been lacking. That has been lacking.
But if you look at Daniels when he was with the Bears, my goodness,
we signed him in the hopes that he'd be our best. As soon as he came on.
I thought it'd be the leader of that O-line. I thought he'd be, putting them all to right and everything. But even he's struggling with this.
I was excited. I was excited when he signed him. Then I've seen him. I'm like, well, where's the person that we saw last season?
Well,
but the fact that they're all. Sorry,
it's all right. It's just sort of getting on with the time. That's all. Let's just hope they do gel. I mean, we said all this last year, but at least we have got that mobile quarterback, which should help them really.
Yeah.
So let's just hope they gel, and it might take a month or 6 weeks or so. I think
the solution for Canada is quick routes, quick schemes, not just running it up the middle and slants, actually using the receivers properly, and
using
not basically. I hate to say it, but look at what the Patriots did before Brady left. Look at that kind of a scheme and think, is that something we can achieve?
Running back by committee as well.
Yeah,
the longevity that running backs going as well.
Bootleg on a lot of the plays as well, because you use the run to set up the play action bootleg because it'll move him away from the line and out of the pocket, and obviously he's mobile enough. Well, either quarterback are mobile enough to do that.
I'm just quite impressed, Callum, because you're a kicker and you're using offensive terms.
I'm a wide receiver as well, and I play running back. I know what I'm talking about.
I think using 2 tight ends as well is going to be working. They're going to be using that quite a lot better, because I can see Gentry helping out more big time with chips and this, that, and the other, just to protect him. But the thing is, I think the more they went on about mobile quarterbacks, before they even went for QBs, I think they were looking at the Bengals. I think they was looking at the Bengals thinking, well, they've got a pretty rubbish O-line, yet Joe Burrow can move and can stretch play, allow the play to develop and just run out the O-line. And I think
he's also very nimble.
I don't know whether they're taking that model or not.
What the Bengals did have though last year, to be fair to them, was they had a lot of receiving options. They had a fantastic running back who could catch the backfield. They had great tight ends. They obviously had Jamar. They had a lot of options. When you're a defense and you've got that many passing options to cover, are you going to rush 5-6, or are you just going to play default rush 4? Even bad O-lines can, relatively speaking, they can give you time with 4 rushes.
Yeah.
So to be fair to the Bengals, they did have that last year. Obviously, with the reinforced O-line this year, they'll be even better. So,
and what have the Steelers done this year? We've got Calvin Austin and George Pickens. So we've gone for
that's
receivers. So it's that's all I can see is that we're following the Bengals model.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe
it's not a model that I've got confidence in, but obviously I'm not a GM, so I can't say anything.
Okay. Let's move on to running backs. So we've on the roster we got obviously Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, and Benny. What the hell am I doing here? Snell. Followed by at fullback we got Derek Sideline Watt. So obviously Harris is our sort of
most important part of the game. Plays in special teams, the most crucial part of the game.
Yeah, I know. I just
no, I'll still swear down that Watt is part of TJ's contract.
Yeah, probably.
If I stay here, my brother gets a job.
Yeah, 100%.
I personally would have put Connor Haywood at fullback, got rid of Watt, and
probably could
Radar maybe. That's my take on it. So.
Yeah.
Harris obviously is going to get a lot of carries. Going to get a lot of.
He is a dynamic player. He can make plays as a receiver as well as a typical fullback or running back.
Anybody surprised that Anybody surprised that McFarlane didn't get in and Snell did?
No, because he hasn't shown.
Special teams.
I said this time last year I was looking forward to seeing what McFarlane could do in a Canada scheme, because obviously he did that in college, but he didn't show anything in his first season. So I'm not surprised at all.
I think it was close, but
Yeah.
I think the difference is special teams. All that McFarlane brings you in special teams is running, and we've got a lot of those with Gunnar and Calvin and Sims and before him, really, I would imagine. So it was down to that.
Big thing that counted against McFarland was he started off his preseason quite well, and then Warren just came on and he was like, all right, guys, I can do this.
Warren's fantastic. I'm well pleased that he's made it.
Yeah, that first touchdown where he was going over backwards and he just reached back. Probably my favourite touchdown of like our preseason, even more so than the Pickens toe tap one. That Warren one, I just loved every bit of it. He just little bit of presence of mind. Just do that reach.
It was a nice surprise to have in the preseason, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a different pace as well. So
yeah, all I was going to say, literally, my biggest fear going into the season was that Najee Harris was going to touch the ball 400 times.
Yeah.
So the fact that we've got, a couple of players that can take a little bit of load off is
definitely. I mean, we said this all through last year, didn't we? We said exactly the same thing. So obviously, Tom has been watching our podcast, and
yeah.
He took it on board. He went, right, okay,
I just remember re-saying it loads before last year. We're just theories that will work Najee into the ground, and it's come up as a major point in this season. So
yeah, he's going to come back.
Well,
to
they were
the
still talking about bell cowing him anyway.
Yeah, and especially
there's
in
bell
the
cow.
NFL.
They were saying before.
There's bell cow, and then there's Le'Veon Bell, Christian McCaffrey, Emmett Smith and Dallas kind of bell cows where you just and Derrick Henry, where you're just running them to death basically.
Yeah, they've got niggles all year, and they're just never effective.
The best teams that run the football like that, to me, you don't want to have if you're genuine about going for a Super Bowl run. So if the Titans are serious, don't even run Derrick Henry that much in September, October. A fresh Derrick Henry in December is terrifying because that's when he needs to be playing at his best. So I hate the concept of bell cow backs. It's a bygone thing. It's a redundant thing in the modern NFL.
Especially when you
they still had two running backs, still have Franco and Rocky. So it wasn't as if we've ever really done that. Really, apart from Le'Veon.
That would be the only.
But especially when you're giving, you can see a leader in Najee as well. If you see a leader in him, you want to kind of keep him around a bit, don't you? You want to give him a bit of longevity. So it just doesn't make sense to give
especially
him
on the offense, because we haven't got a lot of leaders there. I mean, Trubisky will do his thing, obviously, because he's quarterback. But I mean, your O-line's quite young, so you're going to look at Najee to get you through, really. So, should we move on to wide receivers?
Sure.
Yeah,
we've got Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and George Pickens.
What a lineup!
Hang on, Philip. Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Put your towel away.
We've also got Gunnar. We've got Stephen Sims, who I appreciated in pre-season, thought did really well.
Very good.
Is Miller still around?
No, he's injured.
Is it?
I know he's out for the season.
IR. And Calvin Austin, who it's a shame he's on IR as well. Apparently he's going to miss the first month or so, and then he'll take a while to get back. So it's a shame because I would love to see him. I mean, I've got reservations about these small guys that run like lightning but can't catch freaking cold. And then we've got Miles Boykin as well. We got from the Ravens. So obviously the front three are just really good. Obviously Johnson.
I think will be 11. So we'll have three wideouts out most of the time. It'll probably be Johnson and Pickens on the outside, and then Claypool
in the slots.
Exactly where he needs to be.
The slot receivers.
He needs to be in the slot. Exactly where he needs to be.
Sorry, just the thought of actually somebody in the slot just giving me goosebumps.
I mean, when you think about like that sort of caliber that we've actually got right there now, and I know they've got some like development, so to speak, but fuck me, we've got an absolute. If you think about it, we've got some serious talent there.
Yeah,
with
everyone's frozen.
Yeah, I mean Johnson's proven as long as he keeps his hands on the ball.
Yeah,
I think
it's on the handball machine.
Yeah, I think the jury's still out a little bit on
in Johnson's defence. Johnson's drop weight rate.
It was lower.
Yeah. He had less drops. He had less drops than
Cooper Cup.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The difference is when he had those drops, it always seems to be it's always a big third down. It was always a big play in the red zone. It was never like just a 1st and 10. It was always a big play. So I guess that's why it looked like.
Is there a hands issue or a pressure issue though?
I mean, he only this past season he only really did it towards the end of the season when we were in contention for the playoffs. So I think it was more pressure than actual skill sets. He's shown that he's got bags of ability, bags of skills.
I think it's a concentration thing.
I think more of a pressure thing.
Yeah, concentration.
The thing is with that though as well, there wasn't that much options, if you know what I mean. These signings that we're relying on like them too much. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like just all the time. Like it's either that or it's average going down, or whatever. And it's like it was very easy to like pick them, if you know what I mean, because Ben was always going to throw to him or pass to Harris or whatever it might be, and it's just like we need to see more now of the others as well. We need to actually. I think the theme is like sharing the load a bit, getting spreading it, because that's what we need to do. Because that's not only better for injury's sake, but also it makes it more difficult to predict.
And it will happen because we'll be throwing down the middle of the field more. This is it's like the limited what Ben was doing was going go routes down the side, or check downs to Nagy, or like little short passes, or screens of this and the other. So it's the limitation. Yeah, the ball screen. So it's the limitation of the actual. We've got thing is like Claypool now. Claypool's in like a contract year, isn't he, next year? So he's got stuff to play
got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to prove.
And he's playing in the position that he can, he wants to be in, really. So I can just see good things, with this.
The great thing with this core is you've got 4 or 5 different receivers who have 4 or 5 different strengths, different body types, different attributes. Yeah. You look at Pickens, and I'm getting well ahead of myself now, but when I saw him in a uniform for the first time, I just thought, he looks like Randy Moss. And I know that's like ridiculous. Yeah, don't even go there, because that's just unattainable. But it was just the fact that he just has that attitude, the deep threat, the hands, the presence, just the aura he gives off is positive. And obviously, he's got a long way to go for his anywhere near as good as that.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times at Georgia, and he was always on my radar, just to keep. And even then, I sort of.
Apologies, gents. My internet had a spaz.
No worries. We've gone to Pickens. So just saying, he was on my radar. I've seen him a few times at Georgia. I thought he'd make a great stealer. When we did get him, he's going to go the way of AB. He's either going to be brilliant or his personality is going to take over. But
hopefully
we'll be all right.
It's just the way
I think he's a strong contender for Rookie of the Year. Right now, he's a strong contender for Rookie of the Year based on his pre-season.
Him and Pickett's are number 1 and 2 for Rookie of the Year bets at the moment.
I think Hutchinson's got a
good. He'll be one of the first round receivers. I don't know which one, but I think it'll be one of those first round receivers. They'll be Rookie of the Year.
Could be. I think it might be. Strong. I mean, obviously, it's too early to say at this moment because of we've got a full season ahead, literally. But what I've seen so far is very positive.
Yeah.
I was looking to, unfortunately, like Calvin Austin's, we're going to probably miss the first 4 games, but I was looking forward to him, see what he was going to do. He had a great pre-season.
Forward to seeing Austin as well.
He had a good training camp, didn't he? He was like really promising. But the thing is, I think this is going to work in his favour because it's kind of like a hidden gem. You're kind of going to bring him out. Like, we've got enough in terms of like speedy wide receivers now, with like Gunner, with Sims. You know, we've got people who can do that anyway for the interim, and then he'll come on like week 5 maybe.
I was just over the moon
And
when
surprise everyone.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good core anyway. Very exciting. Yeah, I'm just hoping Claypool sort of gets back a bit of form as well. He seemed to be quiet last year. So let's hope he gets back on form.
I can see Pickens probably getting more receptions than Claypool, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even if Claypool does or show what we were promised last year, I think Pickens is going to do what he's done to everybody else on the field and bully his way through it.
Yeah.
I think Pickens will get more yards and touchdowns. So I don't think he'll get more receptions, but I think he'll get more yards and touchdowns.
Well, he'll be the deep threat. So yeah, presumably the throws then will be more high risk. But I think Johnson.
But that's fine. It's getting it up. That's the point, and it's just getting the ball up.
I think Johnson,
because that's
Johnson will get a lot of things underneath, and Claypool in the slot will probably be a good red zone threat. Fingers crossed. So
and
Johnson's
on the jet sweeps and things, it'll be used a lot.
You know what's interesting there with his wide receivers? If you get someone who's like, if you get someone who's injured, we have got that cover.
Yeah.
Whereas like previously, if someone get injured, you just die inside, don't you? You know, especially like last year, because it was like each position was so valuable, so to speak. We have definitely got that cover this year. Like it's still going to hurt, but probably not as much. You know, if you know where I'm coming from. So I think that's quite a good sign, really. We're getting the depth that we need.
We've got receivers that can stretch the field as well. So you got Sims and Gunner who pace. So we could take the top off defenses.
And we signed another wide receiver on the practice squad as well. I can't remember, Robertson or something. I can't remember his name. But it's like when we were like thinking like back when it was free agency, when we lost Juju, Washington, and Rere, it was like, what the hell are we going to do now? And now it's one of our strengths, the deepest of parts of the team. So
this pre-season's been amazing.
And more stacked than it was when we had Juju and Ray in Washington.
A lot more ability, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I love this pre-season.
One thing the Steelers have always done is know how to pick a wide receiver.
Yeah, can't pick cornerbacks, but they can pick wide receivers. So lastly, on the offense, we've got tight end. So we've got Pat Freiermuth, Zach Gentry, and Connor Haywood. Pat Freiermuth has been awesome, even in this early stage. He just looks another level. I know it's early days and everything else, but I think he'd be really a big cog this year. Obviously, Zach did some good things after 17 years on the sideline.
It's going to be a key.
Then we get Connor, who looks interesting, and
I think Connor Haywood will be used a lot more as like a utility player. Like he'll be used in various different roles. He won't be used solely as a tight end or as a third tight end. He'll just be.
I never thought about that. That's probably true. That.
I think this is one of our stronger tight end rooms that we've had in a while, because for a while we've had one guy and then somebody in the background, and now we've got one guy and then we've got somebody who's doing good, and then so instead of having McDonald and Ebron, we've got Gentry, Muth, and Connor Haywood as well.
You've got a guy that can catch, you've got a guy that can block, and then you've got a guy that can do
both.
Kind of a lot of different things. Like Swiss Army, so you've got it's brilliant. Very complimentary, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what I love him. You know what I'm actually loving, like.
Go on. Don't say his name.
Oh.
Don't say it.
I'm loving how underrated the team actually is, with all the critics and everything. But we're running through this right now, and it's just like, apart from the O-line, which we know is shit, we've got a pretty fucking good team.
But it's just the fact that the O-line's quite key.
We'll get to the end. We'll get to the end with that one. So we'll how much have I got left? I've got about 10 minutes, I think, on this one.
That's very good, apart from its engine.
Yeah. The most volatile card, but there you go. Let's move on to the defense quickly. So we've got obviously a 3-4 sort of base defense. So your defensive line, we've got sort of Larry Ogunjobi with Chris Wormley. We've got Alualu, we've Montravius Adams, and then we've got obviously Cam, Loudermilk, and the rookie DeMarvin Leal. Yeah, solid bunch. Obviously, Ogunjobi's a good signing, very solid. Has done some good stuff. I thought Wormley did all right as well last year. To be fair, I think did all right.
Yeah,
7 sacks was it? Yeah,
did well in that other defensive end role thing, like the other end of the side of Cam Hayward. I think he did very good in that role.
Can we call him all world Cam, because he was just absolutely mental last year.
He was my MVP. I know he didn't win it, but he was my MVP last year. He was just everywhere.
I voted the same.
Yeah,
I did
absolutely
not vote for what in our voting. I went for Cam.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely, he had a season last year.
It's like a fine wine, isn't it?
It's weird that you have a team where clearly the player is TJ in terms of like the recognition, if you could have one. If you have one person that fills the jersey on the banner, it's TJ. But no, Cam is the heart and soul of the team. He is the guy. He's the leader. There's no question. And like you say, he just keeps getting better and better. There's not enough superlatives for him. There really isn't. He's just outstanding.
I agree. Absolutely. I love him. I think he's one of my favourite players. He's absolutely. I mean, the thing is, he's a veteran. He leads by example. He's one of the hardest workers on the field. 10 times over.
I can see him when he retires. I could easily see him just merging straight into the coaching position. Straight into an assistant's position straight away. He's that sort of person.
I reckon he's going to be in media though. I think he's just got is getting more training on like.
I saw something on Twitter. He went into that NFL media internship.
Yeah,
I saw that Twitter.
Boot camp kind of thing. Yeah, and he's got his own podcast now as well. So it's like. You can just see him now getting more and more comfortable by the camera and by the microphone. So it's one of those. It's just trying his hand at it, isn't he?
Just think if Tuitt was still there as well. What a line that would be.
Yeah.
I
mean, let's see what Ogunjobi does. It's like big boots to fill, but
he wrecked us for a good couple of years. He did very well.
Yep.
Obviously in our division for a while.
Just one thing on the line though, I think I don't know. I don't think Alualu. Everyone's saying, Alualu is back and everything, and that's great. It's going to solidify the run defense and stuff. I don't think he'll be back to himself. After like a leg injury like that, I don't. And it's going to be his last year, I think. I hope and I pray that Monty Adams, who I like to call Monty, is going to just outshine him in training camp once he gets back at Elphin, because he shone last season. I think he's the one. He's the predecessor.
Take it forward.
Yeah.
Could do. Let's just see how the season unfolds. I think that's why we're going to see the character now, because with the underdogs, in some respect, the defense is going to have to carry the offense, but hopefully not as much as last year, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I will get onto that later.
And you just hope sort of Loudermilk sort of comes on a bit more than he did last year. And to be fair, I haven't seen much of Leal, the rookie, so I can't really sort of comment really. So, but again, I think he's still a bit of a long-term project. So,
I think
raw player.
I think very raw. See a bit more from Loudermilk this year.
Yeah.
He had a steep learning curve last year.
Yeah, of course.
So I think we're going to see him like a bit more of a comfortable position now, instead of, there you go, man, you've got to do this. He's like, but I was just going to do something over there for a bit and wait, and now he's like, okay, I've done that now, so I can now come in and just be more comfortable in his position.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at the linebackers.
Okay, no problem.
Back in a minute.